In the quiet suburbs of Seminole County, Florida, the Amato family seemed to have it all. Chad Amato, a dedicated nurse anesthetist. Margaret, his loving wife of 30 years. Their youngest son, Cody, a bright 27-year-old nurse following in his father's footsteps. But lurking in the shadows of this perfect facade was Grant Amato. At 31 years old, Grant still lived at home with his parents. Unemployed, isolated, spending his days locked away in his bedroom. His family had no idea what Grant was really doing behind that closed door. They couldn't have imagined the dark obsession that was consuming their son. On January 25, 2019, that perfect family image would be shattered forever. When police arrived at the Amato home, they discovered a scene of unimaginable horror. Chad Amato, shot dead in his own living room. Margaret Amato, found lifeless in the kitchen, where she had prepared countless family meals. And Cody, the youngest, cut down in the prime of his life. 3 members of the same family, executed in cold blood. But one family member was conspicuously absent from this massacre: Grant. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Building on what we covered about Grant's disturbing behavior, his digital footprint reveals something far more sinister. In January 2018, Grant discovered a Bulgarian campsite called My Free Cams. There, he became obsessed with a camgirl who went by the name Sylvie. What started as casual viewing quickly spiraled into a dangerous digital addiction. Grant believed he was in a real relationship with Sylvie, spending hours chatting with her daily. He showered her with virtual gifts, purchasing tokens to fund his growing obsession. The financial damage was staggering. In just 5 months, Grant spent over $200,000. But Grant didn't have that kind of money, so he began stealing from his own family. He drained his father's retirement account, emptied the family business funds. When the accounts ran dry, Grant turned to forgery, creating fake checks. His brother Jason's credit cards, his mother's savings, nothing was off limits. All for a woman he had never met, living thousands of miles away in Bulgaria. Grant's family had no idea their life savings were funding his digital fantasy. But secrets this big don't stay hidden forever. The reckoning was coming. As we discussed, Grant's digital obsession was spiraling completely out of control. But what his family didn't know yet was just how deep the deception ran. It started with suspicious charges on the family credit cards, small amounts at first. Then, larger transactions that didn't make sense. Margaret Amato discovered charges for international money transfers, thousands of dollars disappearing into digital payments she'd never authorized. When Chad confronted Grant, the lies began immediately. Equipment for school, medical supplies, anything but the truth. But the evidence kept mounting. Bank records, browser history, digital breadcrumbs leading to a world of campsites and online obsession. Cody, Grant's younger brother, supported his parents completely. He'd seen the changes in Grant, the isolation, the mood swings, the constant lies. The family discovered Grant had stolen over $60,000. Money meant for retirement, for emergencies, for their future. When nursing school administrators learned about Grant's behavior and attendance issues, he was immediately expelled. His job at the hospital followed quickly after, terminated for cause, his entire professional future crumbling in a matter of days. The family intervention was meant to save Grant, to force him to confront his addiction and get help. Instead, Grant became defensive, angry. He blamed everyone. As we discussed, Grant had agreed to enter rehab, but this wasn't the redemption story his family hoped for. Grant lasted exactly 30 days in treatment. 30 days of mandatory separation from his digital obsession. The moment Grant walked out of that facility, he went straight back to the computer. Straight back to Sylvie. Within hours, he was back on the cam sites. The addiction hadn't been treated. It had only been postponed. His family discovered his relapse almost immediately. The lies, the manipulation, the financial theft. It was all starting again. January 24th, 2019. The family called an emergency meeting. This would be Grant's final chance. His father, Chad, delivered the ultimatum. Stop the Camgirl obsession permanently, or leave the family home forever. Grant's mother, Margaret, and brother Cody stood united. This wasn't negotiable. The family was drawing the line. Grant agreed to their terms. But his words were empty. He had no intention of stopping. That very night, Grant contacted Sylvie again. He told her he loved her. He told her he would do anything to be with her. In their final chat session, Grant made promises he couldn't keep, money he didn't have, a future that was impossible. Sylvie responded with increasing demands. More money, more proof of his devotion, more than Grant could possibly provide. Grant was trapped between two impossible realities: his family's ultimatum and Sylvie's demands. Something had to give. Someone had to pay the price. January 25th would bring Grant's final solution to his impossible situation. On the night of January 24th, 2019, Grant Amato made a decision that would destroy what remained of his family forever. Chad Amato was the first to die, shot execution style in his home office while working at his computer. The bullet entered the back of his head. Chad never saw his killer coming. Margaret Amato was next. Found in her bedroom, also shot in the head at close range. The woman who had tried desperately to save her son had become his victim. Cody Amato, the brother who had confronted Grant about his lies, was the final target. Shot multiple times, Cody's body was discovered in the front hallway near the entrance. But Grant wasn't finished. He had to make this look like someone else's crime. Grant attempted to stage the scene as a murder-suicide, trying to frame his dead brother Cody as the killer. He placed the murder weapon near Cody's body, hoping investigators would believe his brother had snapped. After executing his family, Grant calmly drove to a local gym and worked out for hours. He was establishing an alibi, creating witnesses who would remember seeing him alive and normal. When police arrived at the Amato home the next morning, they found 3 bodies and 1 missing family member. Grant's cold calculation had turned him from family disappointment into family annihilator. While Grant Amato thought he'd covered his tracks, digital footprints never truly disappear. Investigators quickly discovered his devastating financial crimes against his own family. Every stolen dollar. Every desperate transaction. All leading to one woman half a world away. His internet history painted a picture of complete psychological collapse. The cam site transactions alone totaled over $200,000 of stolen money. At trial, prosecutors laid bare the depths of Grant's addiction and desperation. The defense claimed mental illness. The evidence said cold-blooded murder. Grant showed no remorse as victim impact statements tore apart his lies. His own digital footprints had become the rope that would hang him. The jury took less than 4 hours to find Grant Amato guilty on all counts. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. 3 life sentences for 3 murdered family members. This case stands as a chilling reminder of how online addiction can destroy everything we hold dear. The Amato family paid the ultimate price for one man's digital obsession and greed. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe for more.